We're passing by the okapi on our right. Okapi are the closest known relative to giraffe. They have prehensile tongues just like giraffes do, and little ossicles on the top of their head, which are like tiny horns covered in hair. Their stripes help them blend in with their environment as it mimics the light that comes through the canopy of the forest. Just ahead of us, we're coming up on two different species of antelope. The light brown friends of the greater kudus. Only male greater kudus have horns, so we know that these are females. The dark brown friends of the bongos. Both male and female bongos have horns that point backwards. They can easily run through the forest and not get caught in anything, which comes in very handy when trying to escape predators quickly. Sometimes we will spot black rhinos around these areas. Black rhinos are solitary animals. They don't hang out with others unless absolutely necessary, like if they have young ones or if it's mating season. They can average 3,000 pounds. They're not the largest species of rhino, but they are certainly up there. Stopping some saddle-billed storks over to our left. Those storks can average about 5 feet tall and have a wingspan over 9 feet. They like to hang out in pairs. You can tell who's who based on their eye colors. Females have yellow eyes and males have black or brown. Passing by some pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the pink coloration their feathers get during mating season. They also like to put their nests together during mating season to create neighborhoods. Call it colonial nesting. It's kind of specific to them. Another friend that likes to live here in the river is the Nile hippo. Hippo can hold their breath for up to 8 whole minutes and like to walk along the bottom of the river floor. They're not the greatest swimmers because they're not very buoyant. They can't float, which is why they prefer to sink to the bottom and walk and just push themselves up to the top when they need air. One of the easiest places to see hippos is the Gorilla Falls track, where there's an underwater viewing window. You can watch them go walking by. Now we're going to be crossing over a bridge here momentarily. From this area of the river, you can occasionally see crocodiles. Make sure we are staying seated, friends. Now, crocodiles can average about 16 feet in length. They are carnivores and reptiles. Because crocodiles are reptiles, it means they're cold-blooded. They rely entirely on their environment to regulate their body temperature. On a warm day, they like to hang out in the water to keep themselves cool. They begin to overheat, they can open their mouth and release all that hot air, much like a dog panting. Passing by the baobab tree. Baobab trees are nicknamed the tree of life because they can hold tremendous amounts of water in their tree trunk. Makes it a very important resource during dry seasons and droughts because animals can burrow holes into the side of the tree to get out water, kind of like nature's version of a water tower. Now we are entering the savanna, which is the largest portion of our reserve. We're passing by a den that is a common hangout spot for African painted dogs. The most successful predators on the savannah, they have a higher success rate than lions and cheetahs because they hunt in packs like wolves. And they get their name because their dogs that look like they're rolled in paint named from Africa. So African painted dogs. Coming up on the sable antelope. Sables have unique horns that arc backwards. They can protect themselves from predators if they try to jump on their back. Comes in handy because their fight-or-flight response is almost always geared towards fight, having those pointy horns to useful defense mechanism.
Baby,
We're coming up on the Maasai giraffe. Giraffe can get between 14 and 18 feet tall on average. They like to use their prehensile tongues to strip leaves off of branches, much like their cousins the okapis. This is generally why we see them hanging out by tall trees and shrubbery most often, as they can reach greens that other animals cannot. Coming up on some wildebeest. Wildebeest get their name from the Afrikaans word for wild beast. They are another member of the antelope family. They look a little bit different from other types of antelope due to the shape of their face and their horns. There's also some springbok over here. Springbok are a very small species of antelope. They get their name for the way they spring up into the air, as they can jump 6 feet vertically and 13 feet horizontally in one jump. Off of this, you might be able to see some Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle also get the name Watusi cattle from the Watusi people that domesticated them in Africa. Their horns look like they weigh a ton, but they're actually nearly hollow, which allows the cattle to push sled through to the ends to cool their bodies down using the extra surface area. Passing by the African elephant. Elephant are the largest land mammals, and African elephants are the largest species of elephant. They're the biggest of the big. You may be also able to see some mandrills over to our left, a very shy species of old world monkey. Both males and females have bright colorations, but males are easier to spot because they're bigger. I back up on those African elephants over here. Elephants are the largest land mammals, and African elephants are the largest species of elephant. They're the biggest of the big. Both male and female African elephants have big tusks, which are actually giant teeth. And the same thing that your teeth are made of, enamel and dentin. They don't chew with those tusks. Instead, they use to dig stuff up out of the ground, kind of like tiny shovels. They're the few different friends in the animal kingdom that have tusks like this. Warthogs, for example, have very small tusks, but they use them in the same way. Then there's the babirusa, which actually have 4 tusks each. 2 they use primarily for defense and protection, and 2 they use for digging like an elephant. Elephants are quite smart, but occasionally that can get them into a little bit of trouble. A while back, they learned that farms were a great place to find food, but of course farmers weren't too keen on that. So they partnered with researchers around the world to create the Elephant and Bees Project. This allowed farmers to put beehive fences around their properties, protected their land and their crops from the elephants. It worked really well because elephants are terrified of bees. They can't stand the sound that bees make and will do everything in their power to keep away from a hive they can hear from a distance, even going as far as to alerting other herds of the danger in the area and to stay away. If you'd like to learn more about that project, you can check out their website, theelephantandbeesproject.org, where you can see profiles of the farmers that participate, learn where they sell their honey and what crops they grow. If you're interested in conservation yourself, take a look at the researchers who founded the project. It's a great place to start for inspiration. Passing by the greater flamingos. These flamingos get their pink coloration from the brine shrimp that they eat, which has beta-carotene in it. When they hatch from their shells, they're a great silver color. As they get older, they lose those baby feathers that turn white and brown, then eventually pink if they eat enough brine shrimp. Passing by a cheetah on our left. I don't really see her laying down there in the middle. Cheetah are the fastest land mammals, but they're not a species of big cat because they can't roar. Instead, they meow, chirp, and purr to communicate with one another. Cheetahs have non-fully retractable claws, which means their claws are always out, so they can dig into the ground and get better traction when they run. They prefer to hunt during the day and sleep at night because their eyesight's better in the daylight, and their spots often blend in with shadows created by trees. Coming up on a copy of rocks. Copies are a great overlook on the savannah where animals can see for quite a distance. And rocks offer protection from predators and further animals. Big cats like lions are kind of the opposite of cheetahs. They prefer to hunt at night and sleep during the day because their eyesight's better in the dark and they don't have that camouflage that cheetahs have that hunt during the daylight hours. This is generally why cheetahs are considered more active in the afternoons and lions more so in the mornings and the late evenings. Coming up on some white rhinos on our right. White rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word "weit," which means wide, refers to their wide mouth. Most rhinos have 2 horns on their face. Those horns are made of keratin. It's the same stuff that your fingernails and hair are made of. Coming up on the warthog. Warthogs are very closely related to domesticated pigs. They are very smart. They like to reuse dens that other animals dig out, so don't do so much work on their own.
Okay.